Do you wish that you could recover faster from workouts or training? Do you wish you had the same energy, power, stamina, and drive that you used to? Every year after puberty, your growth hormone decreases, sometimes by as much as 50%. And, spoiler, it doesn't come back. It doesn't matter how in shape you are or how good your diet is. Just like death, taxes, and sequels to The Fast and the Furious, they're gonna happen, whether you like it or not. But Raph, how does this affect me, a young jiu-jitsu practitioner who believes he will never get old? Well, growth hormone decreases can cause poor workout performance, slow workout and injury recovery, chronic fatigue, mood swings, depression, body fat, low libido, poor sleep, and a lot more. Though frankly, if you're asking me, that sounds like plenty. That's where BioPro Plus comes in. BioPro Plus is the first of its kind 100% non-synthetic alternative to prescription HGH growth hormone treatments. It immediately replaces what your body is not getting, and it does it naturally without the needles, nasty side effects, or the expensive costs of typical synthetic growth hormone treatments. BioPro Plus is not a synthetic drug, so it won't shut off your natural production or cause you to pop on any drug tests. Wink, ADCC competitors. Since 2009, BioPro Plus was only available through doctors, but not anymore. Now you can get BioPro Plus shipped directly to you. No doctor visits, no blood work, no pharmacy. If you're serious about your training, and I hope that you are, go to BioProtein Tech and use the promo code Grappling Hour for $30. We're giving them $30 off to our idiots. Okay, it's their money. Go to BioProtein Tech and use the code Grappling Hour for $30 off. So go check out BioPro Plus today before your competition does. What is up, everybody? It is your friendly neighborhood BJJ podcaster, Raph Esparza, coming to you live, watching EBI 20. We skipped the first round because, let's be real, that's a lot of time wasted. But not to say we weren't watching. I'm just saying, in terms of being on for a long period of time, I'll be real with you. I got some barbecue dinner. Barbecue dinner is going to win. What's up next fighting? Oh my God. That's why I'm not here tonight. I hope you guys are having a great day. What's up, Jiu-Jitsu Means? Twist you up. We're doing a little fight companion for the EBI 20. Very excited to be talking about it right now. Nicky Rod is up against Luke Griffith and working to pass guard. We might be there for a little bit. Just to let you guys know, EBI 20 is, I believe, happening outside of the Tejas. So very excited to be bringing you information. What is up, Bryce? Good to see you guys. If you enjoy what we're doing, give us a like and a share. We're going to be here for the rest of the evening watching the festivities. And, we'll be here, and I'm very excited to be here, but we will not be throwing accusations that matches were fixed. Unlike some places. I'm just saying. Think you guys saw that go up. And I love when people say they're like, oh, there's no proof of it. Right now, Nicky Rod actually is in trouble in a very similar predicament that Gordon Ryan used to fix him. Uh-oh, that's not good. He is in a heel hook situation. Luke is making him spin all the way out of bounds, which means they're going to have to reset. Nicky Rod then pushes on the leg, but retrieves it. Definitely in submission danger right there. What's up, Spencer? Good to see you guys. Yeah, if you are part of this, and it says it's SARM. What does that mean? SARM. Sorry about that. And it says, will Bioprotein get me jack it just like Paulo Costa? I promise you nothing, gents. They are just a sponsor. What's up, Jordan Jitsu? Hey, give some love to our good friend Jordan, who
made some waves yesterday in his fight to win debut, which is odd because our man has been busy and is not a stranger to competition, but definitely showed out and showed up yesterday. What is up, Shay, Male, Mullet? Good to see you guys. So anyway, we're about at the halfway mark of Luke and Nikki. Should be interesting to see how this plays out for these gentlemen. Since I'm going to be here all night, as a reminder, we will give toast to those who get finishes within regulation. But because it's EBI, that won't happen all the time. Just saying. We know that. You know that. I know that. Why are we going to lie about it? And in fact, Nicky Rod did pick up, I believe, a submission win in his first round. So every once in a while, you get there. And it says, Raph, you're looking mean, my man. Oh, my God. You're so nice. Need more barbecue. Dude, I definitely try to eat my my weight in that barbecue. Full disclosure, the wife ordered for Woodfire Grill, good place out here. And she got me ribs and tri-tip. And I had these ribs, and I said, you know, I'm going to cut a little part of the tri-tip, and that's going to be the only thing I eat. And then before I know it, I ate the whole thing. And I thought that mashed potatoes and asparagus would slow it down. Nope, only sped it up. Ate way more than I was intending to. Looks like Luke's trying almost for that. It looked like a buggy choke, but then it kind of finagled into that no leg or replacement variation of a triangle from bottom. And it says, didn't even know you were married. Yeah, I know, man. Definitely married, have been for, what, now 7 years, very happily. Kelly and I have been together for 15 plus. It's great. It's good stuff. And she brought home barbecue tonight, so come on, y'all. I know I picked a winner. Oof, but if I am slow on the jokes here, you know why tonight. Anyway, it is a little awkward to have an EBI in the middle of October where I feel like most people are probably watching football. But here we are, definitely trying to make things go. What's up, BJJ Report? Good to see you. I will take your questions, comments, concerns, hints, allegations. Nicky Rod has passed, now in mount, trying to isolate the right arm of Luke. This is interesting, and Luke is trying to shuck him off by getting some upas here, but nothing doing just yet. Nicky Rod, pretty much like a stone, had to be considered one of the favorites, and I believe he got that number 1 seed. So there is that. And Twist You Up says, watching football and EBI. Look at that. We are here joined also by a celebrity this evening. Sideshow 310 showing up in the chat. If you guys don't follow his page, I would highly recommend it. Dude does some very, very funny videos. We're supposed to collaborate, but my man's scared. You know, I said, hey, why don't we collaborate and train? Haven't seen him since. Coincidence? I think not. Just saying. Twist You Up, who do you have in the game today? Or do you have any skin in that one, or do you even care? Because couldn't really get behind Miami. Didn't really care for that, but hopefully you were enjoying yourself. Nicky Rod making some progress on this spider crawl up. Again, isolating that right arm. Miami. Interesting. So I'm glad that EBI is back. The reality of it is we do have some prominent stars in this one. And I want to point out, though, Chris Shagholi's son, Pat, has been on a tear. He qualified, and he was known as a problem over in the EBI qualifier for the 10th Planet system. So it's been very interesting. He's had 1 match so far. Definitely looked like he broke a dude. So there is that. Sideshow says it's going to happen soon. I better, fam. You better be coming to train soon. You know what's happening? Sideshow's over here just lifting weights, thinking that extra strength, you know, he's trying to get big like Nicky Rod. He thinks that that's going to make a difference. That's his son. LO for sure. Thought it was little bro. Oh, is it his little bro? I thought it was his son. I'm not clear on this. You can tell me differently. I think it's his son, but I am also not able to corroborate this, due in part to the fact that we did try to interview him and stuff happened. So I like the kid. I would love to have given you guys the first version of truth, or that's his son. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. I like how we have a meme page giving us our fact check. What is up, other Raphael? I hope you are doing well. I've been to their gym. Oh, that's awesome. Good to know. What's up, King Silverback? I like when people pick their jiu-jitsu or MMA fight names off of being like, I am a silverback, but am I also a king? Better go with both. King Silverback. But I'll put a dot in between it like it's an email address. What is up, Fight Choke Bomb? And it says, I've been running BJJ HQ. I mean, I know that much. Every time I see a 93 brand promo, get a little more love from a certain jiu-jitsu meme page, not naming names. But 93 brand, I love a lot, actually. So you can give them all the love you want. Real is up. Requesto partum. Congratulations to our good friend Brady, who picked up a heel hook win and got featured on leg locker. Very dope to see. And Nicky Rod tried to explode out of this back take. He might be able to make it work. Luke loses the position, and it was out very quickly. Nicky Rod, not too much technical about that, but it's definitely very effective. What is up, Scotty? It says we might start a podcast studio. Okay. Let's see how that goes. Good luck if you decide to start making podcasts. Just want to let you know, you won't be an enemy. You just might not be a friend anymore. Keep me posted. Obviously, I would come on it. I'm a great guest. All right, Nicky Rod will advance via escape shotgun time. Nicky Rod does this weird shrug whenever he gets his hand raised in this competition. It might be just that we're too short. We can't actually pick up his hand in a way that it just kind of like tugs him back down. So there is that. It says anything you'd come on is great. I'm just saying, thank you so much. Appreciate that. I always do my best to make things exciting because as somebody on the other side who interviews people all the time, I definitely do my best to try and make sure I'm a decent guest for everybody else. Nicky Rod in overtime did get an arm bar in that transition, which was kind of fun to see. So congratulations. Does not count as a submission within regulation. And it says, hey, Raf, great to see you doing your thing. Question for you. Hit me, Patrick, otherwise known as Patrick, has not trained with me recently, Ventura. And it says, who can possibly have a chance at beating Gordon in your opinion? I mean, if we have the Street Fighter capability of cloning Gordon and having him fight himself only in a red gi, that's a possibility. I think the person who's supposed to beat Gordon is not in prominence yet. That's the best part is Gordon came out of nowhere to really surprise everybody. I think we have to wait for that next person that surprises the shit out of us. What is up, Robert Anthony Leal? I don't see it from the current slate of competitors. And that's very sad because we would love to say X or Y person. For example, tonight, Kyle Bame seems like somebody who would give Gordon props. Oh, wait, he competed against Gordon on mushrooms. Ugh. Okay, Nicky Rod. I mean, he might win this. He seems like, he lost to him in ADCC by heel hook. It's a good question. You know who really wants a shot at him right now and is parlaying for that position? Ty Rotolo. Or is it Cade? Uh-oh, I interviewed them both. They'll probably get mad at me. I think it was Ty. I don't know how I feel about the odds for Ty at this point, if I'm being completely honest. Got a lot of love for Ty, but that's a tall order. And I think even Ty was trying to point out, like, yeah, don't you outweigh me by 80 pounds or something? And Gordon's like, 80 pounds? Like, what the fuck, dude? Come on. Yeah, thank you. You did mention Ty. Yeah, he did do the call out. Here's the thing. I don't mind them doing the call out. And I think that Gordon, in his own way, is saying, like, yeah, call me out. I appreciate that. I like the kids. However, how much sense does it make when you couldn't beat Hanger, but you expect to beat me? Which I guess, fair point. It's just Ty and Cade are at that age where we may see them jump even more in their jiu-jitsu. We'll have to see how it plays out, but they could very easily become even bigger monsters at the sport. So we'll see. I don't have a really clear answer for you, Patrick. It should be you. That should have been my first answer. But you don't show up to challenge matches because here I am sitting here from the last time I did one of these. Still haven't seen you. What's up, Beast on the mats? Just saying, man. Got an open gym. Still have not seen you show up. What's up, Todd Lee? The ever so smiley Todd Lee joining us right now. Hope you're doing well, my man. Todd, who are you rooting for this evening? Normally, you got some skin in the game via like a Hunter Colvin or somebody joining these ranks, but tonight, nobody that I'm aware of that you got, but would love to hear it. So, just say. Yeah, it's been a minute since Patrick and I had one of those hour-long marathon sessions. I think we're due. Austin Baker making his way out. Was there an injury replacement? Hold up. Yeah, that's what I thought. Giancarlo Badoni is actually out due to injury. So that's unfortunate. Eek. All right, Austin Baker gets a second chance at life. That's such a weird rule. And it said, just had a kid. Oh, congratulations. Use it as an excuse to get fat. See, now it all comes together. Now I understand what's going on. But I will make it to an open mat soon. So, obviously, I also have the keys. Would be happy to open it up because now that I know you're fat, we're 100% doing a marathon roll. And usually a marathon roll is I just put on a clock and we just all try to kill each other. But yeah, Austin Baker coming with a beautiful takedown. Good Lord. That looked effortless. Man, I gotta say, I'm super sad Giancarlo got injured. You got your 80cc champ taking an injury in the very first match of the night. And I mean, Austin Baker is a big boy, so is one of the unfortunate side effects of doing an absolute division. So I'm pretty sure those size differences become problematic for a number of reasons. So, man, that's such a bummer. But Giancarlo had to be one of the favorites. This does open up things nicely for Nicky Rod. And if Austin Baker does end up winning, as it looks like he is definitely putting in some good work right now, man, Giancarlo losing, Austin Baker coming in to replace him up against Nicky Rod could be fun. Or as Cash Outstanding says, so Nicky Rod is going to win it all. Odds on favorite, yeah. We'll see if Kyle Bame has anything to say about that. But it's interesting. A few favorites. Or, Patrick Holding, man. Pat does that kind of weird-ass grappling where when he gets something, he just cranks the shit out of it. And that kind of rolling very much scares me, even as I'm not a competitor in this. And it says, unless a 10-piece spaz is out enough to blow his knee out. I guess, man. I don't know. But he was under some pressure under Luke in that last round. So there was some heel hook sort of strategy. But that would mean that New Wave is also out of the competition entirely. What is up, Noam? Good to see you, my man. Hope all is well, brother. Watching us some EBI on Fight Pass right now. Austin Baker maybe trying to do a little bit of a smother. Maybe even working for an isolated arm. Almost has it, but now just sort of forcing it Meanwhile, ooh, beautiful transition. Almost now has the armbar, but he's almost in that spider web-like position. He has the ability. What is happening, dude? This camera work literally looks like the Saving Private Ryan beach scene. Who's doing that? What was up? MMA. Belina, good to see you. Hope all is well. Yeah, Austin Baker he's got this armbar. There we go. That's a finish within regulation. We can cheers that. What is up, RA? 815. This toast goes on out to Austin Baker getting a second lease on life, a second opportunity to win this. Maybe become a spoiler. We'll have to see. But him and Nicky Rod up next in that semifinal match is going to be fire. Cheers to you, brother. Austin Baker, a longtime friend of the show. Very excited for him to get this opportunity. Okay. So you compete and you don't win, but then the person draws out due to injury, so they just always figure like, well, you're here. That part always confuses me. I mean, I guess from a functional standpoint, it makes sense. It just isn't one I feel great about. I don't know if I'm the only one who feels that way. It feels like it, but could be wrong. But yes, please hit me with your questions, comments, concerns, hints, allegations, all of the good stuff, because we are going to be here for a bit, y'all. It's going to be a long, long ass night watching through all of these matches, y'all. I'm tired just thinking about it, honestly. I want to point out that one of the gentlemen wore a t-shirt, a rash guard, if you would, that said Garage Jiu-Jitsu. And I read it as Garbage Jiu-Jitsu. And it immediately made me think I should probably make that rash guard. What is up, my man? How are you doing? Mr. Ariola, I hope all is well, my man. I owe you guys a visit. Hopefully when I'm off one of these next few weeks, I can come down and see the gym, the new gym, which is old to everybody but new to me because I have yet to make it down there, but I definitely want to try to if I can. Kyle Bay making his way out. Interesting to see what is going on. You know what's also interesting is that Train Angry put up the post of somebody who said that a match between Gordon and Gary was fixed, and they crossed out the name as if we were not supposed to know who the source was on that, even though they put it up on their Instagram. It was later revealed that it was Kyle Bame who put that up. It begs many questions, but it feels suspect that Kyle would feel the need to say that today. That is very awkward. To be putting that information to say like, hey, I just want to let you guys know, EBI organizers, if Luke and Giancarlo end up advancing into a semifinal, one of them will throw the match. This was based off of nothing other than hearsay, but it does seem weird when you yourself are a competitor and it is hours before the match and you feel the way to express it is to put an Instagram post. So definitely read as weird, and Kyle is definitely a competitor that is good enough to outright win EBI. Just it feels really weird, and right now he is definitely trying to find an entry into the legs, and we'll see if he is somewhat successful at this coming up very shortly. So hope that you guys are enjoying what you're seeing right now. I believe this is Roosevelt Souza coming in from Fight Sports Club. So there is that. Very excited. I will take your questions, comments, concerns, hints, allegations throughout the evening. I know there's a lot to talk about. There's definitely a lot that we are seeing in front of us, and we are just at the quarterfinals, so it could be a little bit of an evening here for us here tonight, but we will do our best to keep you motivated and informed. And as Kyle Bame does the stripper saunter back on over to the center of the mats, you do see Roosevelt putting a knee in to try and make a pass happen. What is up, Ashi Harambe? It's a pretty funny name. I'll give it up to that. Nicely done. Roosevelt trying to dominate the left leg of Kyle Bame. Doesn't look like he'll be advancing on the other side. Kyle is somebody that you have to be very careful about how you pass. He's very good at finding those X entries and off balancing his opponents en route to heel hooks and leg locks galore. But as I mentioned earlier, it was so weird to see that. And it was weird to see the name blacked out. And I had to put a post. I was like, who said this? And everybody very quickly was like, oh, no, it's Kyle. And they showed that Kyle had put it on his Instagram, which, okay. It was just, I don't know. It says, what is the time on your end, Raf? I'm not sure if there's a delay between our streams. I am currently at 6:59. So, Cash, tell me if I'm behind or ahead of you, because if so, I can maybe try to do a modification. It might have been as I was watching it and eating before this. I might have taken a screenshot of the garbage jiu-jitsu, aka garage jiu-jitsu rash guard that I saw worn. I had to get a screenshot of that because it says about 15 seconds behind you. Well, let me see if I can get rid of that delay. No, I think that's about as fast as it is. You're just going to have a better internet connection than me, my friend. Apologies on that. What's up, Tuck? It says, hi, Raf. Glad to see the Fight Companion is back. Hopefully we'll see another UFC Fight Companion. You will. Our next one is going to be UFC 281 over at Milton Arguello's Mixed Martial Arts Academy. That is going to be November 12th. Very excited about this. And it says, we'd love to have you come train with us at Hybrid HQ. Always welcome. Okay. Very nice. And yeah, absolutely. I will definitely find a time. It's just a matter of getting my schedule to not be the worst. And Cash saying, I'll try not to spoil anything. I'm not a child. I really don't care. If you spoil it for me, it's fine. I think the weird part with spoilers is that if you can hear someone tell you what's happening and you get mad at that, okay. It's more so if they tell you something happened and it didn't happen, I think I might get mad at that. But if you're telling me like, oh no, look out, Luke, that's his father, I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess that kind of checks out because I didn't really mention that. There's some plot holes there, but okay, I can get into that. For sports results, it's always, oh, did he win? Yeah, okay, that's cool. What is up, Pendix, BJJ, Joseph Goodman? Hello, welcome back to the show. Good to see you guys joining us for EBI 20. Hard to believe we are at EBI 20, especially when a few years ago it seemed like they had just kind of given up on it. And of course, in the previous round, Roosevelt did advance via heel hook in regulation. Don't know that he will be getting a heel hook on Kyle Bame. If I'm being honest on this, Roosevelt does seem at a little bit of a loss in terms of I want Kyle to stand up with me, and Kyle wants no part of that. So you're going to get a little bit of an impasse because you're going to see Roosevelt not commit to shooting that knee all the way in for a pass. And it says, what are your thoughts on the slap fighting quintet? Sure. I like quintet way better. Just regular original crispy flavor. But, it's something to do. And it's weird because they're going to have that EBI super close to the next UFC, what is it, grappling invitational that they do, the Fight Pass invitational. I find that's very close to each other, but I guess those are the dates. It is nice that we'll have stuff to look forward to on a Thursday in December. Kind of random. I think right now Kyle Bame is doing some light cycling. Bicycle cycling. I can't prove the other kind of cycling. Might have a leg. This might be good. He does have a reap. Roosevelt trying to keep some space that may not be enough. Roosevelt's really in a bind here because what's going to happen now is he's going to fall on his butt. It's going to give Kyle the opportunity to super strength it, and he does. Congratulations. Kyle by armbar. Yeah, I mean, I see what you're trying to do here, Cash, but you need a return on receipt for that. So, more like spare change outstanding, or reverse that. Yeah. All right. Now's going to be an interesting moment. Pat about to return to the mats. I definitely have my eye on how good this kid is. You looked right up as I said it. I looked right up to keep a base on what happened. And also, no, I saw the heel hook. I'm good. Bitcoin standing. My value crashed. Yeah, that works. I mean, any way you put it, you are the opposite of humor. You are the opposite of entertaining. So here's what we might call. Is it too soon to call you an NFT? We'll get to that later. All right. Interesting to see. Master Vic is slowly aging backwards. Hard to see. But he looks like he is getting the hairstyle of Guillermo from Half Baked, but current. It's a tough reference, but it's all I got at this moment. I actually like Master Vic a lot. He's super kind to us. Eesh, this is so great. One of my favorite things about making memes is when you make a meme that has a slight joke about therapy, and dudes be putting their thoughts on therapy, further reinforcing the slight truth nature of a meme in real form. If you guys want to see some incels really going to work on our page, go visit that. It's quite hilarious. In the first round, I do have to give some credit because Andrea Porforio from Fight Sports did kind of upset Dan Martinez, a former standout here in the EBI Combat Jiu-Jitsu realm. Both of the gentlemen kind of sit to start the match. Pat definitely is going to be looking for a leg. I think we know that about his game. So it'll be interesting to see. And also, it says, is Bodini still in the tournament? And that's from this guy, 1888. Bad news about that. So Giancarlo, in the first round, did win. However, as a result of an injury, had to bow out. Austin Baker returned in his spot and did advance. So we'll have to see how that goes. What is up, Wilson Jinray BJJ? Good to see you. Thank you much. Yeah, it's a little bit of a bummer that Giancarlo will no longer be in this, but he is an ADCC champion. We do have an interview scheduled with him at some point in the near future. Him, Fiona Davies, and Diego Hees will be on the show sooner than later. We actually just recorded an episode with Joseph Chen. Coming up very soon, we have the Rotolo brothers, Amy Campo, and who's the other one? Minnie Tackett, Andrew Tackett. So definitely some shows that will be coming your way. I think some fairly solid interviews. New York Times says it's my best work. Who's to say they're wrong? So anyway, that's what we got coming in. Pat's hair. We should address this. And it says, no one is wearing the flip-flops off the mats. Bottom of the feet are disgusting. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you on that. You're not wrong. Oh, Pat. Definitely. Oh, Master Vic definitely gave a nice little round of applause. Still applauding. I want to point out the slight draft that is happening in the background. If you look at the Master Vic banner that is dead shot of the main A camera, you will see that wind is slowly blowing it continuously. It's quite entertaining to watch in the background of all the festivities here. So, yeah, Pat inverts, sees if he can grab a leg, kind of has something, and oops, uh-oh. Did look like for a split second, Andre thought that he could leg lock a child. Yes, Pat, to my belief, is 16 years old. So I'm not saying he's unbeatable by being leg locked, but he is a child. His leg does say, or his rash guard does say rubber bones. So those should be hints and or clues. What is up, Ellis? Blur Music. What is up, Crush Crew Jiu-Jitsu? Welcome. We're talking to some EBI 20. We are in the middle of Andre Porfirio and one Pat Shankoli. Interesting to see how these two match up. 6 minutes, 34 seconds on my clock. Some of you may be ahead, like Cash Outstanding in the chat here right now. And Pat is probably going to throw every attempt to getting underneath the hips in the book at him, but also will throw in some inversions. Some beautiful roly-poly nature. Kind of a reap, but not exactly there at the moment. 6:08 on my clock. Where were we? We were talking about Pat's hair. It is wild. It is untamed. It definitely strikes the value between high school female PE teacher and definitely the type of wigs Patrick Swayze would have worn in an action film. Wait, is this outside? Who thought that was a good idea? That's an excellent question. It's probably also the reason why Nicky Rod is actually wearing a rash guard too. It's one of the few times Nicky Rod's just kind of brr. One of the things I talked with Joseph Chen about very briefly today in our little interview was he definitely mentioned how Nicky Rod, Ethan Krellinston, and David Anderson have all put together their efforts to make a podcast. And he's like, yeah, isn't it called like the Simple Man podcast or whatever? And I was like, whatever it is, they should just call it bro. And the beginning and end of every sentence should be like, bro, that's not even how you lift right. Bro, that's not even the right form. Bro, what's wrong with you? That's not even how you do steroids, allegedly, bro. And it says the wind is getting wild now. Who would have ever thought? You can also tell by the tables that are outside that have some slow flap to it. But this is some light California weather. They'll live over it. They'll be all right. I'm pretty sure we shall build, we shall overcome. This is California, trash can falls over. Oh no, weather is going to kill us. So I should share this with you guys. You may notice, and I don't know how I sound with the people on Instagram, but while I was doing the ADCC Fight Companion gathering, it's kind of a little bit of shit show because I ended up getting sick. Not very fun. But you could tell what kind of week I was having because while I was getting all my supplies together, I went to go get my earbuds. And I was listening to something as I was packing up the car, and then this happened. I don't know if you can see it, but this fell underneath my car, this earbud, and I drove over it, thus making this not listenable. So very sweetly, the wife, who Jiu-Jitsu memes just learned I had today, which interesting. The wife very sweetly went to a casino for free earbuds day to get these for me. So that's what you know real love is, kids. When the wife will take one for the team and go spend lots of money at a casino so that she can bring me the complimentary Beats by Dre earbuds, which, not gonna lie, not bad. So I'm hoping that we have good hearing and good audio off of that. That's definitely that. And it says, can we both a RAF super fight for charity? Are you implying that you and I super fight? Because one, we're not in the same weight class. You're in a smaller people weight class, and I am of a real person size weight class. Uh, One might even argue a plus size weight class. So it's probably bad news for both of us. I would potentially be interested in a WWE BJJ match for charity. But yeah, I think we could both do better. Um, and also, nobody wants to see me super fight. Like, legit. It's super boring. Anybody who's ever seen me roll knows I am ratings poison when it comes to an exciting roll. What's up, Brandon? Absolute champ, Raf. Jesus Christ. I will powerbomb the shit out of you if I have to and have no qualms about it. It says 16-man Raf bracket, just a bunch of Rafs. That does not bode well because when Rafa Mendez literally comes out of retirement just to win this, it's a heel hook. Let's see how rubber bones that is. Uh-oh. Pachagoli, while in heel hook, comes in with one of his own, literally hopped on over. It does look like Andre is in trouble, but may not 100% be in the worst of areas. Master Vic going over to the side, making sure that these two do not fall off, though I do not think he is going to be strong enough to keep both of them at bay, if I am being completely honest. Rafael Lovato, no, I mean, he's retired now. Rafael Lovato and I have already had words, so he knows where he stands. Not a fan of his good jiu-jitsu. Sets the bar too high for Rafael's. Far too high. That's why I don't like having the name Rafael in jiu-jitsu. Comes with too bad of expectations. Sometimes people are like, aren't you a Rafael? Aren't you supposed to be good at jiu-jitsu? And I'm like, yeah, it doesn't happen for me. I just have a lot of fun. And it's like puzzles. So this means that Pat's got 20 seconds to work. Otherwise, we go into EBI overtime. And I don't know how he does. Potentially has some experience. It'll be interesting. I am familiar with him in the sense that I've seen him become an emerging competitor in the past, year or so. It says, thank you. I am the GOAT ref. That's very sweet of you. Did you go to ADCC? No, I did not. I'm no real interest to go to it live. I have more interest of doing these fight companions, and unfortunately I ended up getting sick on day one of the broadcast. And it says all the 10th Planet guys do EBI overtime. He should be great. True. He should move with a certain kind of veracity. It's more so the question mark is in Andre's corner. And it says, I've only seen him explode on leg locks, but since he is 10P, I would assume he's comfortable in OT. Would agree. He does seem slightly in, I wouldn't say trouble, but I had assumed if he was going to make a break, it would be very, very fast. Like, he has deceptive speed and power to his game. So we'll see. Andre doing a good job of keeping him contained. It almost looked like a cross-faced chicken wing was happening there, ever so slightly. And I think he's actually grabbing on to at least a portion of the hair of Chris Shagoli, who does make a jailbreak attempt. Does not quite get out all the way. They're going to roll, and he does turn into his guard, and we are good. It says, I've never seen him lose or submitted in competition. Very good insight to have. And of course, nothing beats the broken stripper crawl back to the center of the mat. I mean, I was very excited when he got his ticket punched for this. I just figured this was going to be one of his biggest tests, and he may be able to flatten him out and get a rear naked choke here. Andre, instead he's got like double underhooks, creating just what looks like an abundance of pressure. I think Andre's like, I don't know fully what to do here. This kid's just short of getting a full Nelson on him. Thinks that he might have an opportunity. He's trying to address the legs, sneaks out, and he is out. Oh, wait. Wait. Master Vic did kind of say you were in and out. Well, that was very confusing right there. What is up, BMA? LB? Is that Bumba LB? 39,531? Intriguing. Yeah, the whole Giancarlo thing, it is very, very sad. Bums me out a bunch. Would love to have seen him go for both an ADCC championship and an EBI championship. There we go. That is more along the lines of what I think that Pat is able to do. Pat now opts for the back. Once again, we'll see what kind of control he has. That heavy escape that just happened at the top of the second does bode well for the pace of one Pat Shagholy. Here it comes. We'll see what happens. He's got his over-under grip. What is up? Hello. Hope you're doing well. Yeah. Master Vic kind of redirecting. He's trying to say, this is the grip that you can have. Over, under, chest to back. And Andre's trying to make up for lost time. And this specific grip, I think both of them learned a lot from each other. Because, oh God, did Andre just literally put himself into... Are they going to keep letting this play? Holy shit. I thought technically he might have been out already. But it's almost like they let him go all the way to an outside omoplata. The fuck, dude? It's almost like this tournament's run by 10th Planet or something. All right, final attempt for an attack by Andre. Pat working for the escape, going in 3, 2, here we go. Andre looking to try and get a body triangle here, and I feel like that's where the error happens. I mean, of all the big men that I've seen try to escape in EBI overtime, Pat is up there. Oh, might have left his arm on the inside, but instead uses it as an extra opportunity to get out. This is what will decide it all. I do believe Pat is slightly ahead as Master Vic is trying to hype this crowd, and it says, get it? It says, I think Andre is winning on time. I don't know. I'm not sure. Because these stoppages, oh no. Oh, Andre sneaks one out. Might have just won that very quickly. We're going to get an official announcement right now. Good for him. If he does advance, it'll be very interesting to see how that goes. Pat trying to hype up the crowd. Chris Shagholy yelling out. Does he have a purple belt for him? Literally just threw his purple belt at his kid. Sure. Oh, nope. Photo op time. I mean, yeah, I can't hate on this father and son moment. The producer in me, though, says, no, get the fuck off. Guys, we got to fucking make this show go in under 3 hours. But congratulations to Pat. You weren't a purple belt until tonight, but you could have fooled us all. You've been a monster. You qualified for this. And very, very happy for you, young man. So it'd be interesting. If that's your very first EBI experience, I will not be surprised if I see you back here and I see you murdering things, because he is only 16 years old. So sky's the limit for that kid. But Andre will advance. He, in the next round, will get his shot at, let me see what this says here. So it's going to be Kyle Bame and Roosevelt on this one. And it is going, no, I'm sorry. Oh, man. Yeah, so Andre beating him takes us to, I believe, yeah, it is. It is Kyle and now Andre. Very interesting. What's up, Hamptons Jiu-Jitsu? Meanwhile, on the left side of the bracket, Nicky Rodriguez versus one Austin Baker. on the right side, Kyle Bame versus Andre Porforio. And mind you, Andre had a very interesting first round in himself, taking out Dan Martinez, a friend of ours and an excellent jiu-jitsu competitor in his own right. So that, to me, was a big statement, as Dan is no slouch and Dan is sneaky good. We now are going to head our way over to a, what is this? Special match, Fedor Nikolov versus question mark? Okay, I guess we'll play along. Who the fuck's the question mark? A little bit earlier, we did see Barbosa and Gonzalez, with Gonzalez picking up the win in overtime. This is one of your special matches. I guess we have to wait and see what's going on. Can somebody go tie down that Master Vic sign, though? Because that would really do me, in my OCD in my head, a big line of thanks. That's the hope. Okay. Nikolov versus... who is this? Give me a second here. What is up, Bare Knuckle News TV versus Maxim Cote. Yeah, I was about to say, I was like, is this dude like a Patrick Cote's brother sort of a deal? I'm not quite sure as to how that is going or what that is. But there you have it. Oh, God. That's amazing. Okay. If you guys could give me your likes, comments, shares, thoughts, feelings, emotions in the comment section, always appreciate that. Cote working a pass. However, Nikolov, excellent guard retention, does get back to a rubber guard here. I thought it was going to be a closed guard, but instead switching it over to rubber guard. Cote might need to address this very quickly, as he is in some real trouble here, as Nikolov is going to get some time to really attack these arms. Cote may be really tapping here sooner than later. And it says Optimus Daniel came to the show late, was rooting for the kid Shegholi. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely a monster. Didn't quite get it done tonight, but we'll see what he can do in the near future. Cote does get out of that rubber guard attack. 8:42 on my watch right now. What's up, Carlos? What's up, Mike on Eddie? Appreciate y'all. Thank you for stopping by, watching us some Eddie Bravo Invitational action on Fight Pass, which, thank God, Fight Pass comes up with one or two events that justify my $9.99 subscription per month. Not gonna lie, sometimes forget I have it. Every once in a while I'll get a text that's like, Fight Pass wants to let you know this event is going on. And I go, oh shit, is it? News to me. So yeah, these are your special matches. Semifinals coming out shortly after this. And then the evening is going to be capped off not just by the finals, but before it, friend of the show, Mercedes, is, I think, in what looks like a combat jiu-jitsu match that'll come up ever so shortly against Ambrise. So that is happening in a little bit. What is up, J-Day Photo 92 and Daniel Shelby 98. Pleasure to have you joining us. This is not the place that you want to be with Nikolov. Nikolov's close guard action has already proven to be very, very effective. Cote's bangs also. Let's give some shout out to those. That dude literally has his hair in suspended disbelief, one might say. What's up, Morgan? Morgan, congratulations. I think you won something. I saw a photo of it. I liked it. Don't really know the great context of it, but I can tell you it is good or impressive. I think it's one of those PCW Invitational. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like that's what you won recently. What is up, Omarism? What is up, Arturo 9054? Cote trying to pass along with a kind of makeshift body lock, not quite traditionally there. Nikolov framing as best he can to get some slight space and detachment. And Cote, if he could wrap those legs, might be past. Ends up kind of right back at the beginning of where he started on the pass. So there is a little bit of back and forth between these two gents with 6 minutes left on my clock. Might be vaguely in the same time region for y'all. Yeah, I love how people show up and they're like, man, I'm super bummed out. I wanted Giancarlo to win. I'm like, yeah, no, I feel. It's a bummer. It is what it is. But, you know, we're going to get through. We're going to prevail. I also am inclined to believing that not many people tuned into this tonight. I think the interest might have been, I wouldn't say low, but vaguely soft, one could argue. But we'll see. We never get those numbers. This is just based on the internet reaction I'm seeing on social media, which sometimes can be delayed, but I'm not sure how many people were screaming, talking about EBI, which is unfortunate because I love me some EBI. Cote continuing. He has an underhook. Just kidding. No, he doesn't. He's trying to pass without kind of a staple here. He wants to try and get this foot, this leg outside. Does get to mount quickly. Nikolov pushes and frames him down while he tries to shrimp away. He does get to his side. Cote, if he's able to block that left shoulder and get behind it, it could be very effective. But he might be in on not just that smother, but just relentless top control. Nikolov might be giving up his back here if he's not careful. I would like to see him. Of course, when you escape from mount, very difficult thing to do. So we should be honest with that. But does get back to 2 butterfly hooks. Might be trying to do a little bit of elevation. In the background, you do see Eddie Bravo starting to coach. Looks like he's been there for a smidge, a little bit of a time. Nikolov lurking at that leg, trying to get over. Maybe looking at a knee bar here. Has part of a leg. Cote might be in real danger here. Nikolov has part of the leg. Cote, I swear I thought I looked like he was going to tap. His leg is very compromised. That knee line is not looking good. And Cote pushes down the legs on the opposite side, gets out on the backside. What's up, Real Estate King 19? Good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Rafa Esparza, host of the Grappling Hour, one of the 2 hosts of Verbal Tap Cast. Making the most of this Sunday night and watching us some EBI to 1T. EBI 20. EBI. Of course, Nicky Rod, a huge favorite into tonight. He takes on Austin Baker after this special match. And then on the right side, you will have Kyle Bame, who today caused a little bit of controversy, some interest, if you would, by accusing, or at least putting forth the theory of somebody else, which is that Gordon Ryan and Gary Tonin match was fixed in the past. Which, sure, okay. I think they're just, it's such a strange thing to try and prove when the 2 parties involved are incredibly tight-lipped about that. And I have talked with Gary about it, and he has told me in person that he did not throw the match. I guess you can make whatever you want to make about it. Most people do, and have. Oh, Lord. It's kind of an armbar here, but Cote has no time for it. Nikolov goes back to his closed guard, which is, I believe, perhaps his best attribute as a grappler. There's a lot to be impressed with by that young man. So we'll see what he has to do. Interesting. Does look like Kyle Bame took down that post. Let's see what Train Angry has. Train Angry was the one that replaced, or at least reposted that one. Let's see what's happening here. Boom, boom, boom. I'm seeing, yeah, I think Kyle might have taken that down. What are the odds? I swear, jiu-jitsu is sometimes the funniest fucking thing in the world. All right, we'll find out more information in between the rounds. Hopefully, there was some clarification as to what happened. I don't think it'll be on the telecast, I'll tell you that much. And I'm getting some very funny memes sent to me by friends of the show about the commentary. Listen, Brandon McCatherine is a dear, dear friend. So I'm glad he gets work. I have texted him in the past. I will not be listening because I do this. But he is as close to a sweetheart of the sport. And boy, does the sport need it. So we are inching our way ever so closer to knowing who will be crowned King of EBI 20. But for now, 4 seconds remain in this special match. Time expires and we are done. What is up, Matt Scaff? Speaking of Matt Scaff, look at that kid. Good kid. Good analyst. Friend of Brendan McCatherine, who's commentating tonight. Which, Scaff, if I'm being honest, I should screenshot this. I'm going to have to send this to Brandon and be like, I'm so sorry, Matt Scaff came to watch my show, not listen to your broadcasting. Not that that matters. It's not like Scaff has a black belt under Brandon McCatherine. I'm just saying he's made a choice. I think it's the better choice to be here, honestly. Of course, Brandon is beloved. So we appreciate you, brother. Hope all is well. All right, we're going into overtime here. Cote will start on the back first. Vaguely looks like a little loose on that grip. And it almost looks like the wind was knocking them over, if I'm being honest. But Nikolov already in a body triangle, fending off the arms. But, ooh, Cote is doing some of that smother nonsense. Has just kind of a crank grip. Nikolov does get the grip above his head. And now just looks like he's in the middle of a Kubrick film getting tortured. Ugh. Shoulders are on the mat. The body triangle makes it so that he doesn't quite have the ability to get out. Cote readjusts, but for a split second lost the body triangle. Nikolov has to address this and has enough wherewithal to, oh, just kidding. Nope, that's a arm coming straight over the face. This is tough. You could feel how close he is to that back hitting that shoulder just on the mat. And yet, my friends, still in severe danger here. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out. He is still stuck in this triangle. This body triangle is just so deadly in this position. When you don't have a sense of time, you do feel everything stops. That ability to know how much you have to stay in there, how much longer you're stuck in that position. It's deadly. One of my least favorite positions, when you can't find your hook out. And what's interesting is I do think Nikolov knows what you're supposed to do to get out. He is unfortunately preoccupied with other factors that might be making that escape difficult. So now he's literally grabbing onto the hand so that he doesn't get blindsided with muffler grips. And that time does expire for the top of round 1. So in the event you're new to this, and you won't be, because if you're watching this, you are an expert. smart at jiu-jitsu. But if Nikolov is able to get the submission here, then this is over and he is crowned the winner. He is crowned the king of this special match, I guess is what we're going to call it. 3, 2, 1. Cote has a foot over Nikolov's head while Nikolov is in spider. That cross leg I was concerned about, but instead it is giving you almost an armbar. That looks pretty bad, but I think the pinch just isn't there enough to make Cote tap. It might be closer now. That is looking bad, but oh, he is getting up and rotating out. Oh my God. Cote may be out, and he does get out. Good Lord. Does look like he's grabbing his arm. I don't know that it is broken as much as he's just trying to put feeling back into it. Master Vic setting the gents up for round number dose. Looks terrible to have to deal with, but it is what it is. All right, here we go. Top of the second. 3, 2, 1, and go. Yeah, I would check the wind for illegal performance in these overtimes, because the minute Master Vic disconnects the knee, you do get the sense that they are being blown over by the heavy, I mean, it's not that heavy, but heavy winds that are out there. Be careful, everybody. Be careful, Tejas. Yeah, these grips around the mouth are not my favorite. And I do my best not to do them to the kids that I train with. But in competition, all is fair. So, eek. There is that. Thank you guys for watching. So far, so good. Kevin Martinez, I love you too, brother. Thank you so much. It's very nice. Cote does have at least the beginnings of an armbar, but Nikolov just did an excellent escape. Has a frame on the inside of that leg. He does have to shake him off. Easier said than done. He is sitting more to his butt, which is not an assured area of posture, but then leans back and does get it out. So we go to the bottom of the second round of overtime. If these continue and there is no submission in this bottom of the second, we go to a third and final. What is up, SNKX.10P? Good to see you. Oh boy. Nikolov this time opting for the back, almost making the cardinal sin of crossing the legs, but maybe doing it quasi as bait to take a little bit more of that arm again. Nope, does not get it. It was at least an interesting concept, but I think at this point, if you are Nikolov, you know that you are behind on time, so you're going to have to shoot for the stars on these. Yikes. Good Lord. All right, Cote on the back again. 3, 2, 1, go. Cote does have one leg on the inside, and Nikolov doing an excellent job. His shoulders need to get on that mat because he's over one of the hips. If he beats it, he is going to get his best escape time. Both shoulders are on the mat. He should be good from here. I think this is a late stop. Master Vic might have given Cote just a few more seconds here, but that might not matter because it does look like the ride time has been far, far greater for one Cote in terms of the attack. Now you are going to see Nikolov try to hold him here for as long as possible. This grip is one that you can tell he's signposting. He wants that arm. If he can pull it off, it would be quite amazing. But the awareness of Cote does give us a slight resemblance of thinking, no, Cote knows if he does X or Y or Z, such as ending in mount, that should be clean. Master Vic, I think letting it go because he's in half guard. A strange occurrence, but that does expire, and Master Vic then finally calls for time. Okay, well, the winner of your special match should be Maxime Cote. Congratulations to him, otherwise known as Question Mark. Felt like EBI's attempt at being the Masked Singer. Okay. Not quite the payoff you would hope for. But props to both the gents. They make it to the overtime, at which point it's always a good time to remind people, yes, if you do win via overtime, you got the nod, but that doesn't make you the superior grappler. You're kind of the guy who we have to functionally move on. So let's make with the go. But yes, coming up next, if we don't have to sit through a slew of commercials, which God, I hope we don't, Nicky Rod, Austin Baker. Then on the opposite side, it will be Kyle Bame and you can tell I'm already starting to get sleepy. This is how you know you're watching the show of a guy who works a full-time gig. Because it is what, 9:04, and I'm starting to be like, ooh, it's sleepy time. Raph has to get to work in the morning. It has a long commute. Now, granted, all of you on the East Coast, I could apologize profusely for saying something as foolish as that, but you chose to live there. It's like when we get an earthquake over on the Best Coast over here, and people were like, well, you shouldn't have chosen to live in California. And you go, fuck off. Bud Light, Fight Pass. D's. And it's a dog. Thoughts on the Islam versus Oliveira fight? Pain. I guess I didn't mind if Islam won. I did want to see Charles Oliveira lose like that. It was hard to watch. And it was hard to watch in the sense that if you know Charles Oliveira, yes, he was on a beautiful win streak. Seeing him put together, I think it was 11 straight since 2018, just unprecedented in that division. Amazing to see. Super impressed by him as a human being. But the losses are something that you can't overlook. There are losses on that record. And sometimes people break. And I had friends say, it looked like he broke. Maybe he did. Agree. But Islam's jiu-jitsu is no joke, man. I mean, I've seen our good friend of the show, Drew Dober, get submitted by him in a very similar way, where it looks like, man, that doesn't even look like it's finished or real or whatever moniker you want to say about it, but it's definitely got the job done to the point where they look like they're aggressively in pain, which begs the question, how bad is that head and arm triangle? It has to be just monstrous to be in. So there is that. Islam versus Charles in a grappling match. I mean, doesn't the advantage have to go to Islam on that? Especially now he gets the trash talking ability. It would be fun. Why don't we get Islam's posse versus Charles Oliveira's posse? Because those dudes had Oliveira's back that whole time. You know what they should have done? They should have brought that same prayer circle out and surrounded Charles Oliveira when he lost and just goes there. You say you think Charles wins. Now, listen, I'm not here to shit on your spicy takes. That's what the internet is for. But I have to ask the question, which is, why do you feel that, especially given a day after seeing him get submitted by one Islam Makhachev? Because I feel like Islam gets to do that trash, I'm better talk for the time. Ethan Krellenstein, shown as a Combat Jiu-Jitsu Worlds winner. Brandon Moreno, shown as he's participated. Oh, God. Yeah, that Damian Anderson fucking slap knockout. Whew, so good. Returns to the motherland. It's weird because I thought I heard them say that in the promo that Eddie cut. but it felt like they left a graphic that said it was going to be in Cancun. And last I checked, Cancun is not the motherland. It's not Brazil. So we'll see exactly what they are saying here. Taperia is back. Okay. So where and when? Is this that same December weekend? I don't think it is. I don't know. I'm very confused. Yes, Brazil. Featuring, coming to world champion Roberto Jimenez. Okay. Cool. So you got Roberto. 2023, there's no date. Live and exclusively on Fight Pass. That's just Brazil 2023. Okay. Weird. I still also have to give props to the Sklar brothers for having UFC fight content. I would have never considered them the types of people who would have been on one of these networks, but lo and behold, here we go. Lingram, Mike John, good to see you, brother. Mike John, a beast. Good to see you. Okay, so it says, I think Charles, I might have to plug this in here in a second. Apologies. I'll just get ahead of it. I think Charles as pure jiu-jitsu would be better than Islam's grappling. Islam has great training partners in Yuri Samoas, DC, Khabib, all the guys, aka guys, and Olympic level wrestling coming in is huge. But Charles did well in IBJJF. He had a ton of submission attempts in the fight. Cool. But I still feel like Islam has a more aggressive style. And it says, dude, audio is out, I think. Is it out right now? My apologies. Can you guys still hear this? Your audio, unless it's my phone. You guys can tell me if it is affected. I will just unplug these Bose speakers because maybe they're not working right. But I did plug in a jack to recharge my phone. So hopefully that didn't change too much for you guys, but hopefully it is your phone. And as a reminder, this is going on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. In case you do not like the version that is on Instagram, there is a much prettier, higher camera quality version on that. I really wish they would let me stream that version on this. But I want to point this out. We're still here for a bit because we got to get through the semifinal matches. And then we also have to do one more special match and then the finals. So in theory, it would be great if these 4 matches could, Uncle Raph has to go to work tomorrow and it's time. Ooh. Apologies. Yeah, there's a lot of commercials that are on these shows. Good Lord. I would ask if there is a version of this that has no commercials, but Jiu-Jitsu is incapable of making something like that happen. So there is that. Did we figure that out, Raphael? Did we figure out if that is your cell phone that has the issue? If so, just tell me. I'll take out the earbuds. As I mentioned, promo for Eddie Bravo's podcast. Look into it, or whatever he's calling it, etc., etc. Anyway, Deez, I hope that answers your question. I do have to go back and watch the Peter Yan and Sean O'Malley fight. By all means and intentions, it does look like that was a robbery, so I will be excited to see that from my perspective. A little bit removed. Wouldn't be surprised if it was, but I will say I am happy that Sean O'Malley got some props as a fighter. I think that he is a hype machine that sometimes get lost in the translation, but he is quite a competent fighter. I mean, he's good. So it is nice to see him get some respect on that name. Very excited and happy for him. I like this is legit. Just that's what it is. Because Nate Diaz's brand just became a clothing sponsor of EBI. So there that. All right, friends. We're getting there. We're slowly making our way through all of these categories. Just going to take 1 second here to step offside. All right, and we're back. Apologies on that. Had to take care of a small issue off camera, but I think we have addressed it. In any event, yes, we are sitting here waiting for the end of EBI. Yes, we recognize that 4 matches could potentially take an hour and 30 minutes. No, we are not fans of that. Yes, I would like to sleep tonight. Hopefully, this shit goes real fast. And we can all get good rest. Because as you know, good rest means good jiu-jitsu for the week. I don't think that's an actual saying, but it's something that I feel like I can start telling people as the thing. Anyway, you guys can tell me how your week is going. Look at this. Some more advertisements. Slowly losing our minds here. So, of the 4, who do you guys feel is going to actually win this thing? Do you feel it is Nicky Rod? Do you feel it is Kyle Bame? Do you feel it is Andre Porfirio? Or do you feel it will be Austin Baker? And if Austin Baker wins, I would have to check the records, but there is a part of me that believes that is the first time somebody who exited the competition via loss would get the opportunity to actually win the entire competition. Granted, he faces a monster in Nicky Rod, but Austin is very savvy. Don't overlook his ability to do well. Again, I still believe the favorite is Nicky Rod. However, Nicky Rod versus Kyle Bame is a very interesting match in this sense. Kyle Bame will do everything to get to that man's legs. Legit everything. That will be the entire game. Considering that is something that we just saw as ADCC as a weakness of Nicky Rod, at least when it comes in terms of one Gordon Ryan, who, again, a very different style of match. But it is worth noting that for somebody like Kyle Bame, you know that's part of the game plan, if not the only game plan. And if you're Nicky Rod, you do kind of already have that built in where you're going to body lock pass and try and make it so that, one, Kyle Bame has no ability to get underneath you and create any space. So those are the 2 likeliest of outcomes. Nicky Rod makes his way out. I'd also have to check the record. Is this Nicky Rod's first time, I think, in the EBI Combat Jiu-Jitsu format? Because I don't believe he was in Combat Jiu-Jitsu. And if memory serves me right, he really entered the scene after EBI was kind of like on its, we're going to take a hiatus. It's not you, it's me, period. All right. Austin Baker, a very seasoned black belt, excellent competitor in his own right. Nicky Rod, very tall order. Don't be surprised if you see these goons wrestle it out for just a little bit. Austin Baker trying for a trip. Nicky Rod elects to pull guard here. Very unusual tactic. He does it to try and get underneath and maybe use it as a ploy to get to the legs. I think Nicky Rod may not actually want to shoot in on Austin Baker, at least not in the initial moments, without kind of faking him out. Because, every time he uses it, he's using it as an opportunity to trick him out. It does get a quasi kind of takedown here while pretending to pull guard and then shooting up much like a leopard, kind of gut checking him from here. Now Nicky Rod, oh no! I think for a split second, Eddie Bravo just did a comedy style role, inserting himself into the match for comedic relief. Don't know that the juice was worth the squeeze on that one, but okay. What is up, Raji D? Good to join us. We're watching us some EBI finals right now. Or not finals, semifinals. Austin Baker, Nicky Rodriguez. We are at the 8-minute 37 mark on my timer. That is the time remaining. I hope that you're enjoying this from wherever you are. Austin Baker doing a fairly decent job of at least framing away Nicky Rod. He almost looks like he is suspended invisibly. But Nicky Rod may secure this pass. I have to see where his knee is. It's just short of a full pass foot. Nicky Rod opts to take the backside. Austin Baker just catches him with a hook. I do assume that Nicky Rod could do a step over on this if he violently kicks that right leg back. The question is, with the grip on that arm, if he did do that, if Austin Baker would still be able to move him in a direction that he likes. What is up, my man? Hope all is going well on your side. Got the Cholo competitor himself, who has proven wife beater, ADCC style, no rash guard, no matter for this guy. He will compete however, whenever, especially if he leaves his clothes at home. Nicky Rod now slowly working to a familiar place for him, which is getting that grip around the waist, the body lock, the thing of legend, the thing of many instructionals that we have seen from this man, Austin Baker, trying to keep him at bay with a little bit of a grip on the hip. It may not be doing too much because you do get the sense that if Nicky Rod does switch a little bit of the hips, that is a lot of pressure coming down on that hand. It does not look like it'll be able to sustain it for a very long time. This would constitute a secure pass for one young Nicky Rodriguez. So, very interesting first few minutes of this match. Austin Baker in some trouble here, but by no means out of this match. Again, if you have seen him in duress in many matches, he has come back from, in my opinion, worse than this. But Nicky Rod, definitely a very tough and savvy competitor. As you could tell from the fake guard pulls, Nicky Rod does get to mount. Excellent transition there. What is up, Sound Defense Training Center? Good to see you. Nicky Rodriguez in mount, starting to isolate the right arm of Austin Baker. This is definitely going to be something where if Nicky Rod does not necessarily submit him, he is trying to weaken the overall body of one Austin Baker. Very interesting progression here. 547 has a lot of time to work with somebody that big and that strong on top of you. It'll be very, very interesting to see if Nicky Rod is able to make the submission happen. Now, a lot of people thought that there was a possibility we would see Giancarlo versus Nicky Rod. That would have been a surefire, awesome match. Wouldn't have been guaranteed, but it would have been something to note because I think Giancarlo has been continuing to blow up, but Giancarlo just barely getting by in that very first round and still ending up injured at the end of it. We hope him a speedy recovery. You hate to hear that is the thing that keeps him out, but it does bring Austin Baker back into the fold at the halfway mark of regulation. Eddie Bravo looking, I wouldn't say bored, but like a depressed dad who's watching his kids that aren't his open their Christmas gifts. So it's probably the best way I could put that one. Now, this is interesting because Nicky Rod is known for being able to maintain positions on people. Yes, he can get submissions. He is definitely that guy, but we have seen him get away in overtime with a win. You do get the impression, though, if he is looking for the win here tonight, you do want to keep your time on the mats as short as possible. He takes a look up what looked like at the clock, and now using that arm to try to seal the back. Oh, that almost looked like a combat jiu-jitsu slap, but I think it was accidental. We will take that at its core. He may not quite get the back as the right leg needs to block a little bit more as he works to take the back, tries to strong arm it. Austin Baker kind of sees an opportunity. Nicky Rod wondering if maybe he can switch this into, yes, he does have a triangle here. That triangle looks good. However, I would love to see him attack that arm because, yes, while that triangle does look good, it's still just a little rickety and it's just strong enough. Austin Baker in some major trouble here. We will see if he is able, and he does get the finish. Congratulations to young Nicky Rod, who does get the finish in regulation, and we do cheers those who get finishes within regulation. So this cheers goes on out to Nicky Rod. Congratulations on getting another submission win in this very competitive bracket. You, my friend, going into the finals, much deserved. Let's see what you do in the finals of EBI 20. I will say this. I don't usually love when somebody gets eliminated and they come back. But fuck that rule if you like Austin Baker. And we so happen to love Austin Baker, 9:24 here on Best Coast time. We still have one more match in the semis, special match, and the final match. Which means before we see the finals, we will have to deal with a shit ton of more commercials. So there is that. So keep that in mind, everybody. I want to see that grip. Yeah, you definitely saw Eddie roll over him. That's weird. Weird-ass clip. We'll see how people enjoy or do not enjoy that clip. But just the sight of Eddie getting inserted in that match, even if it was comedic to save the moment, was a little weird. Not gonna lie. Anyway, friends, talk to me. Tell me what you're thinking and feeling and what is going on in your head. We await the walkouts here, which will be done in just a second. Very happy for you all to be joining us. It's a great day for grappling. Most days are a great day for grappling, but today feels especially nice, especially when you get a big event like EBI 20. It's interesting to see how the next two events are more combat jiu-jitsu themed. They have the slap quintet that happens in December. Then I guess sometime in 2023, Roberto Jimenez will show up in Brazil. Who knows if we get a date on that soon? Maybe they'll tell us in the December event. I would assume so. All right. Andre Porforio and Kyle Bame both making their way to the mats. We'll see how this plays out. All right, they shake hands. Again, the gameplay is always the same. Nope, that is not Nick Rodriguez. Oh. Kyle Bame pulled guard, but then so did Andre Porforio. Interesting that Andre would want to go straight into Kyle's main arsenal. If you ever look at Kyle's submission rate, you don't see a ton of stuff outside of legs. So Andre just immediately going to attack aggressively. Kyle responding in kind, might have a heel hook here. Nope, Andre abandoning that part of his leg very quickly and cycling it back in. What's up, Brady? Where have you been, sir? When are we rolling? When am I DDTing the shit out of you again? Because you deserve it. Andre is in trouble here. I would argue this could be done. That almost looked like a Brazilian tap. No, he looks like he's just eating it. There needs to be a better escape here because Kyle is incredibly strong in these positions. And this would be very problematic to just keep your leg there. I think he's being a little too cautious, or a little too uncautious, one might say, but a little too careless, cavalier. That was the word I was looking for in this position. So Andre looks like he wants to either win or lose this via footlock battle. So, okay. Kyle coming up to pass, though I feel like this is a put on. You get the impression that he will use this as an opportunity to just go straight back to the legs. So, interesting. Andre has a bite. Kyle, his leg is maybe a little more affected, but Under Porforio thought about giving up the leg to come on and take the back. Both of these gents look like they're quite familiar with the entries that the other is attacking with in terms of the legs. The hard part is, Kyle, from my perspective, is somebody who, when he does attack that leg, it is so aggressive, there's very little room for error. And Andre showing an excellent amount of recognition of the position to the point where it is incredibly loose. Kyle literally grabbed part of that leg like it was part of a meal in a Happy Meal in the 80s as a child. Yep, Kyle tries for a crucifix, comes on over. He might have a... There we go. This is going to be a triangle. He has the arm. The body triangle is pretty tight. Kyle has an arm in play. But Andre is trying his best to hold on here. This may not be a long time until we see Kyle get pronounced to be the winner. This is a very difficult thing to get out of. Andre trying to keep his cool, play this card well, but this is a terrible spot for Andre. As Kyle is literally hand fighting here, this could be the ticket to his finals if he is able to very strategically and finally finish this. Oddly, Andre is creating like a figure four around the legs, which is a quite confusing thought here. I'd love to hear his thought process on it. It does look like it traps the leg, but it does not look like it loosens too much of it. That is a Kimura trap like there for a split second. And instead finds himself back into a body triangle akin to like they are in the middle of overtime. Kyle Baim now has a lot of time to work, 546, and is quite good at the EBI overtime regulation, or has a lock on it. That's a pretty good rear naked choke. Does look like Andre, arm trapped, is eating it. Kyle tries the other side. Porforio, he is suspended here and improving, quite adept at getting out of a number of bad spots. Kyle trapping the right arm, might be just slightly ahead of Andre at this point, who is still aggressively hand fighting. Two big dudes literally trying to see who will get there first. This is looking incredibly good for Kyle, and it does look like Andre is in such danger, even as he's slowly with one arm pulling out, and his face is looking incredibly uncomfortable as Kyle himself throwing in every ounce of strength he has on it. Andre does tap right there, and thank God he does. Hello, welcome to the show. Congratulations. Kyle Baim will advance to the finals. He will be taking on Nicky Rod. A very interesting match here. And, you know, Kyle's matches are usually so short. I wasn't quite sure if the walk there was maybe a little bit, like there was a little bit of, not a limp per se, but maybe just a little bit of ruggedness, like somebody who actually had a full match. Seems to be walking pretty okay, but we're going to be watching pretty intently. Maybe it's just a little bit slower, but for whatever reason, it just looked to me like he was favoring one of his legs. And of course, the camera's cut to a back angle, which suspicious. Though we can't You know, we can't prove any of those things, but neither can Kyle, who apparently took off that post. I want to see if he did keep it up. It's such a strange thing to have put up. Boom. Yeah, it does look like it got taken down. Eek. Weird, weird, weird. But of course, our sport, it's kind of weird, man. So this is kind of almost expected at this point. Anyway, friends, we are now going to see a very special match with Paula Ambriz and Mercedes White, friend of the show. Very happy for her to get this prominent spot in the EBI Combat Jiu-Jitsu realm. And yes, this one is a Combat Jiu-Jitsu rules special match. So I'm pretty sure the 10th Planet System very excited to put this one on for your viewing pleasure. I hope that we very quickly go from this special match into the actual finals. But you, like I know, we're going to have more commercials. And we're not super excited about that. Not going to lie. It's really annoying. So we're waiting for that. And you do see Paula making her way out. She will be first. What is up, Sandbull 79? Hope you're enjoying this EBI Sunday night. And Mercedes now making her way out to the mats. Hi, friends. Well, I hate to tell you this, but Paola, very excited to see you on these mats. However, we are a very pro-Mercedes podcast. She has been a guest on this show multiple times, so I don't want to say we have a favorite here, but we do have somebody we're rooting for. Best now we can hope for is some good jiu-jitsu. And of course, the slaps cannot happen until there is a very beginning on the floor. Pause because you weren't. No, I am using the app. Thank you, though. All right. Some grip fighting here. Yes, once they end up on the floor, that's when combat jiu-jitsu does begin. So it may take a second before we see some slaps, but we will settle for these collar ties. And Master Vic looked like he was racing on over to the other side. I wonder if part of the camera, something looked like it might have slipped. Mercedes is on the ground, and Paola is looking like she is trying to get some slaps. Paola actually has a grip on a leg lock. Mercedes could be in trouble here. She has to be very careful. There are some slaps that are happening. Mercedes raining down while the leg is slightly compromised. I will say Mercedes, although she has fought MMA, she definitely has slaps that look like a mom. Like you get the sense like, nah, if she did slap her kids, not saying she does, that's definitely the type you would see on a sitcom. You're like, ooh, don't you come here in the 70s. I will slap you. Like, that's the kind of slaps that we are seeing thus far in from friend of the show, Mercedes White. Mercedes maybe trying to get this leg and go into a heel hook, but Paola thought for a split second maybe she could take the back. That leg is back in. I think I saw Mercedes wince in a last stand. What the fuck is that? Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's why you don't take a combat jiu-jitsu match. I'm not a fan of people slapping me in the face as I'm trying to do jiu-jitsu. And she does use it fairly aggressively to the point where as Mercedes is trying to set up her jiu-jitsu, she's having to deal with these aggressive slaps now from her side, starts doing it. And, hey, listen, if you can't get the leg entry you want, it doesn't hurt to slap the knee of it because I guess that's within the rules. It's like, I will slap your leg until you get bursitis. So, fuck you, bitch. The slaps to the back seem the most concerning to me. I would love to see Mercedes get out of the saddle-ish position because mostly it has given Paola the ability to, oh my God, Paola blocked her slaps by underhooking the leg. Oh, Mercedes also could have a heel hook here if she actually did play that right. There's a heel hook and there is a knee bar. Now Mercedes going to that knee bar. Paola very quickly countering that with her own series of attacks. Mercedes trying to kind of go into that inverted. Paola not really giving a fuck, continuously attacking with slaps aggressively that might open up Mercedes' back. She is having to worry about these hooks. Master Vic looking to keep them on the mats. And for a split second, you get the impression that maybe Mercedes was going to try and let her slip off. Not so. Master Vic says, keep it on the mats. Do not fly off of this like you guys are on a table here in the windy parts of Tejas. It's not looking great for Mercedes right now as she is eating some slaps from Paola, but this will allow Paola to kind of work from top side of mount. They're now probably going to push them back, I would assume. Like, this seems like a good position to go ahead and stop. Yep, I think Vic is touching them. We'll see if we can reset them back center of the mats. All right. Back to the center position. Starting from that mount with an underhook. Mercedes definitely wants to try and get that back. If she can, buck up a little bit. Oof. Giving up the side. She could come up top, but she has to be very careful about any type of arm. That arm is stuck a little bit. Mercedes has to be very cautious. She does get all the way up. Now Mercedes needs the pass, and she can slap from here. Oh, Mercedes has the back. Does she have the back? Yes, she has the back slightly, or at least she is looking to secure it back again. But now this is Mercedes' sweet spot. If she can stay here and open it up Paola with some slaps, this would be an excellent opportunity for her. There is a head and arm in play. Paola actually might be slightly behind. Mercedes starting to cinch it up. Now Mercedes starting to slap her over on the side to open her up. This isn't a bad strategy. Now Mercedes' leg is in that half guard. Paola is doing the best to try and get herself slightly on the side, which will make things not impossible for Mercedes, but may just slow it down enough for her to get loose. And as she is slowly getting loose, I wouldn't be surprised if Mercedes either continues on with this venture or rains down more slaps from this position while also looking for the back. Paola's starting to cover up, and now that opens up the opportunity for Mercedes to slap her silly from this position. Yep, she's finding a few that are connecting here. And the slaps to the back, though, these are not my favorite. Paola may find her way into Mercedes' guard as a slight slip from the position put her in the not most troublesome spot. Mercedes showing some excellent flexibility here, trying to underhook, almost kind of marionette Paola's arms so that she doesn't have full control over here. Now Paola from inside of the guard of Mercedes, raining down with some slaps of her own. Mercedes now playing smart guard, doing the best to block most of the shots that Paola is trying. From here, you would consider a sweep has to be one of the biggest concerns. Mercedes grabs underneath her own thigh, thinking about maybe rubber guard, might not firmly have that. Almost going into like a Williams guard-esque kind of position, while at the same time Paola trying to throw in some slaps that don't have a ton of sting to them, but you have to wonder if that does start to build up in a 10-minute match, even if it's just a few that you're eating in a bad few spots. So, eek. My goodness, this is always the type of match that is nerve-wracking to those of us who are friends with the people on this one. But I digress, my friends. Mercedes trying to almost go into a little bit of rubber guard. Yep, still kind of in that Williams guard, maybe trying to force it down, combining the two. You guys can tell me if I'm wrong, but I think that's almost that meat hook position. Grabbing on the inside, a minute 53. It does control the posture. This is one of the things that Eddie professes, which is, yeah, in MMA, this is where it works. This is where it becomes your friend. And it can be very destabilizing. But the question is, can you actually make solid contact on hits from that position? Enough to make your opponent very, very compromised. Mercedes now maybe making a play at a bit of a triangle, a makeshift triangle. Switches the grips, gets the foot across the back, levers the other leg down. Might want to take out that arm position, but instead now using it as an opportunity to slap. There could be an armbar here if she can loosen up with those slaps the ability from this position. It is a tough finish to get, especially from Paola, who it does look like she's going to work like holy hell in these next 55 seconds to not let Mercedes get anywhere close to what she wants. It's one of those things, though, that if you're Mercedes, you want to finish her here, and that arm is in play. Yes, if she could get that arm, yes, right here. Mercedes, that is it. Let us try to do that right now. Mercedes, if you can pocket that to your right side, you have got a shot. If you could extend her up, this is going to be the time. You do not want to go to overtime. Let's see if we can get this. It's easier said than done, my friends, but this is a real shot Mercedes has, but she's only got 20 seconds left to make this work before they go into overtime. This is tough. This is where you definitely want to try and extend that arm. It is not the most ideal, and yes, Paola does find her way back. Shit, it is close, and she's slapping her from the inside, and for a split second, my brain wondered if she had tapped, and she had not. Now, her and Mercedes are going to go into an overtime series. That's too much. Don't have friends who compete, y'all. This shit be stressful. Of course, Mercedes, a good time to remind everybody, one of the organizers, one of the people who puts the matches together for Bullpen Submissions out in Arizona. Go support them. They're always so kind to us. We've done interviews with her and Burchak, and I believe Burchak actually has his final match coming up very soon. Mercedes needs to keep rolling here. If she keeps rolling, I think she might actually be in mount. There is a submission, though. That is the tricky part of this rule set. If she can just get to a classic mount and get out of that submission, then it would constitute an escape. The problem is when it looks like you have a submission, they continue on until you get out entirely. What's up, Drew? So she is not 100% out of this position. For a split second, that might have actually just put herself more into a triangle. That arm might be compromised again. It could be a triangle armbar. Mercedes in trouble here. Paola is doing her best to try and attack this position. Mercedes bringing the foot around may not be enough. She has to get back, stack immediately, and create just a sense of compulsory shakes. At this point, I would put that knee over her face, yep, and immediately trying to get it out. It is systematic. It is not a perfect science, but it is one that if Mercedes falls back over and somersaults the wrong way, she is in more danger. And right now, she might just... I couldn't tell if Mercedes tapped. It very well could have happened. Part of my screen was blocked on that, but I do think she might have tapped on that. So we'll have to see if Mercedes, if she's going to armbar, there's a high likelihood she tapped in this position and maybe going for broke in this position. So we'll see if she's able to pull off a win here. It was a grueling 10 minutes. Mercedes definitely looking to try and get the win here. I know how much this meant to her. She's starting off slow, keeping her composure. As you see, Paola trying to very viciously grab the legs to kick her away. I think Mercedes knows what needs to be done. It's just, will she have the time to do it? Paola being very, very cautious about where she goes next, as it looks like she is trying to hop over. She's trying to use the feet. If Mercedes is able to flatten out and maybe keep a hold of that arm, she might have a belly down on her own. However, oh, that is an armbar. And yep, she does get the tap. I do believe Mercedes White is going to be your winner on this. And she is jacked right now. Oh, that is a woman possessed with those lights, by the way. Congratulations to her. Yo, what a comeback story. And you know what? She got the armbar that she was definitely trying to get within regulation. So good for her. What a great turnaround on that match. Again, Mercedes, very emotional, enjoying her moment, takes a bow, comes over, gives a hug to her opponent. As somebody who puts on a ton of matches, you love to see it for the people who always try to give opportunities to other people. They're showing it in the replay right now. This is Mercedes trying to get out. I don't know that I see. Oh, she did do a verbal tap there. So she did take a moment. She said, all right, bitch, that's what's going on here. Her words, not mine. I can't prove those, just like Kyle Bame can't. And then waits it out perfectly in the overtime position. And for a split second, Paola looked like she was doing a Brazilian tap and followed it up with a full-on tap out from that armbar. What a match. Great job. Oh, man. That was a cool moment. Very, very cool to see her get that. They are now going over to the facts. Nick Rodriguez on one side. On the other side bracket, Kyle Bame. You got B Team versus 10th Planet in the finals of EBI 20. Looks kind of familiar. What's up, babyface BJJ? Kyle Bame making his way into another high-profile match. Nick Rodriguez. Would be interesting to see him win also for a number of reasons. Guy's been very consistent. A ADCC silver medalist and bronze medalist in the past. Might have to double check that, but feels right. And sometimes feels right is just as good as being right. But we shall see what the future holds for both of these gentlemen as they are quickly taking a commercial. And I'm going to talk to the people over on Instagram right now as we go on. But for those of you at home right now, we're going to take a little short commercial break. I hope that you guys are enjoying your day. But I want to remind you that, yeah, we got things that we got to pay the bills with. So enjoy this commercial. We'll be right back.
Do you wish that you could recover faster from workouts or training? Do you wish you had the same energy, power, stamina, and drive that you used to? Every year after puberty, your growth hormone decreases, sometimes by as much as 50%. And, spoiler, it doesn't come back. It doesn't matter how in shape you are or how good your diet is. Just like death, taxes, and sequels to the Fast and the Furious, they're gonna happen, whether you like it or not. But Raph, how does this affect me? A young jiu-jitsu practitioner who believes he will never get old. Well, growth hormone decreases can cause poor workout performance, slow workout and injury recovery, chronic fatigue, mood swings, depression, body fat, low libido, poor sleep, and a lot more. Though frankly, if you're asking me, that sounds like plenty. That's where BioPro Plus comes in. BioPro Plus is the first of its kind 100% non-synthetic alternative to prescription HGH growth hormone treatments. It immediately replaces what your body is not getting, and it does it naturally without the needles, nasty side effects, or the expensive costs of typical synthetic growth hormone treatments. BioPro Plus is not a synthetic drug, so it won't shut off your natural production or cause you to pop on any drug tests. Wink, ADCC competitors. Since 2009, BioPro Plus was only available through doctors, but not anymore. Now you can get BioPro Plus shipped directly to you. No doctor visits, no blood work, no pharmacy. If you're serious about your training, and I hope that you are, go to BioProtein Tech and use the promo code Grappling Hour for 30. We're giving them $30 off to our idiots. Okay, it's their money. Go to Bioprotein Tech and use the code Grappling Hour for $30 off. So go check out BioPro Plus today before your competition. My name is Rafa Esparza. Many of you know me as a friendly neighborhood BJJ podcaster, but that's not all I do in our sport. I'm a jiu-jitsu commentator, broadcaster, photographer, meme maker, analyst, writer, coach, tournament producer, and occasional athlete therapist. I know, it's weird. I've worn many hats in jiu-jitsu, but the one that I cherish the most is serving as a host. We have done some incredible things over the past 4 years on this show, but starting this Tuesday, we will roll out a brand new experience for fans of the Grappling Hour. Going forward, we will be offering 2 membership-based offerings. Tier number 1 will give our fans early access to my interviews. Tier 1 members will have the ability to see my interviews a month before they're released to the general public. And as a topical show that has a track record of being the first destination for some of the biggest names in our sport, you won't want to miss out on those. Members of this tier will also have access to audio versions of this show in the event that they don't want to see my face, which I totally get. Each month, subscribers will get to see 4-hour-long interviews. Tier 2 members will not only have early access to my interviews, but they will also get to see brand new content that will not be available anywhere else. New premium content includes bi-weekly podcast minisodes. These episodes are designed for the grappling superfans who want in-depth discussions with our guests on topics ranging from greatest losses to opponents that competitors respected the most. Topics will be explored for limited runs, anywhere between 4 to 10 weeks, and will give the featured guests on each episode an opportunity to share the type of unique insight that either gets lost or overlooked in most other interviews. Drill Sessions, a monthly segment where friends and guests of the show will share short videos of the techniques and sequences they're currently drilling in their gyms. Swept Under the Mat, never before seen behind the scenes footage from the Grappling Hour archives, and short videos and vlogs from the coverage that I do at various MMA and grappling live events. Members will also be treated to show bloopers and occasional clips of my own training sessions. There's also going to be a live chat dedicated to members of this tier that will answer questions ranging from just about anything you guys want to throw at me. And finally, members of this tier will also have the ability to pitch mini-sode episodes and occasionally submit questions for upcoming guests. To become a member, head on over to hi.page/grappling hour. You can also find the link for that page in the description below. Now listen, I know there are a lot of you who may not be able to afford these subscription tiers. That's why it's important to me to still offer some content for those people who want to support the show, but may not have the means to do so financially. So for you, we're still going to offer a condensed weekly version of the show. That show will give you the first 10 minutes of my interviews, and a month after that episode is released to our early access and premium subscribers, they will be unlocked on our YouTube page. In return, all that I ask is that you subscribe to us here on our YouTube page and that you continue to like and share the content that you enjoy on our page. I know money is tight for everybody right now. The last thing you want to do is thinking about having to invest in another subscription-based service. But I hope that you see the value in the types of interviews that I do. I hope you see the consistency of my coverage over the past 10 years, and I hope you see the overall vision that I have for this show. I have never been short on ambition. And for the next phase of this show, I'm taking a pretty big swing. So with that, I'm going to need some support. I hope that you'll come with us and help us become an even bigger and better show. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for even watching all the way to right now, even if you do nothing. It's been a great day for grappling. We'll see you back on the mats. Let's go back to this. Well, bam. Good to see you guys. Sorry about that. I legitimately just pressed the wrong button here. So now I got to find the thing that tells me where the background is. Let's say, where's the one interview? Anyway, what I guess I'm telling you guys is very excited for you to be here with me for the very end of this EBI broadcast. One more match, and then we are blissfully done. Thank God. Who do you guys have winning this one? Do you have our good friend Nicky Rod, or do you have Kyle Bame? And again, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, we might have to keep the camera on if Kyle Bame wins, if he will explain himself, because I don't know that that was the talk of
the broadcast. I don't know that they even brought that up, but it'll be interesting to see if they do address the fact that Kyle Bain put in a heavy accusation. I do not think he will mention it, considering that it was mysteriously taken down from his posts on his social media, but it was something that he initiated today. So we'll see. Just very strange to see that go up just minutes before the actual major competition happens. I don't know that there's anything I've ever seen like it. So to me, I'm kind of like, what just happened? I had one of my friends tell me, did you see that? And I go, no. I go read it. I go, that's fucking weird. Just unusual. But you know what's not unusual? Supporting us here at the Grappling Hour. You guys can give us a like, a share, a follow, all of that good jazz. You know where to find us at Grappling Hour. YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, all those places. That's where you can find us at Grappling Hour. You know the deal. And it looks like we're about to do the walkouts for Nicky Rod and Kyle Bain, your finalists for EBI 20. I'm gonna have to do the math here. Trying to figure out how much money is at stake. I do believe both these gents. Let's see how much money they could potentially be winning. Because they don't say what this is anymore. They don't say if you do, up to. I don't know if it's what does that shake out to? Almost like 12.5. Let's say it's 12.5 per submission. Nicky had one at the very beginning. I believe Kyle had oof. Nicky Rod literally like a fucking panther on the ground with the pull of the guard and then a spear straight into his opponents. Already working on that body lock. It's so weird because you feel like you're not going to fall for it. And then you just get this behemoth of an animal flying at you. Kyle Bain now has double hooks on the legs. Won't be surprised if he tries to space them out. Nicky Rod starting to sprawl the hips down, thus negating part of the butterfly hooks in this position. That body lock can be very powerful, and there's a part of me that wonders if Kyle is experiencing the full squeeze in this position. John Danaher himself has said that Nicky Rod possesses an incredible body lock. What's up? It's just Mike. And then immediately said the part of the reason why Gordon was able to handle it is because the people who taught him the body lock was him and Gordon. That's a very interesting fact I discovered while listening to the most recent Lex Friedman podcast. If you guys haven't heard it, I've only gotten through half of it because it's 12 hours long, but I will potentially finish it one day. I feel like John Danaher podcasts with Lex Friedman are like installments of War and Peace. So I would tell you this. This match is going essentially how we thought it might go. It is definitely not going the way that Kyle wanted it to start, I am sure, but he did just break out of that body lock. And now Nicky Rod is going to start from passing, this time entirely clean. He's working to one side, work to the right side. Kyle gets shoved around, moved around like a wheel of fortune, and Nicky Rod finds some time and now just strong arms over Kyle Bain. Jesus Christ. It's so weird because, sometimes there are rules for some, but not all. Nicky Rod is that kid that you go, you know what, this doesn't work for everybody, but just do it. It'll probably work for you, man. All right, so Nicky Rod had one submission in round one. Kyle Bain also, to my knowledge, I'm double checking my facts, also had a submission in round one. Then, in round number two, Nicky Rod ended up getting a submission in overtime that does not count for, I believe, the total. And then in the second round, I still think, I got to double check this. Quarterfinals, Nicky Rod, armbar, good. And then Kyle Bain, heel hook in regulation. So Kyle has two. Nikki had 1 in regulation going into the semis. In the semis, Nicky Rod did get a submission in regulation. Oh God, he's trying for the smother while also going into like what looks like a pin. This is fucking, oh God, that's terrible. Yeah, if Nicky connects that arm, he's going to take the back here, and that is a smother back take. I'm going to have to send this to a friend of the show, Milton Arguello. Oh my God, he's literally going for a fucking cradle pin on Kyle Bame, which actually I really enjoy as a strategy because it can debilitate you very badly. And as we've seen, Kyle is contingent on the ability to attack legs or use his very long legs. Taking out the ability for him to regard like this, it really neutralizes a large part of his game. Then we get to see what the defense looks like for Kyle Bame in these particularly dire situations with an opponent that is incredibly strong. Mike, it says, yo, Ref, good to see you, brother. Just want to let you know your mic must be messed up. It's totally breaking up. Oh, no. That's terrible. It's breaking up Brad, bro. Okay, well, let me try to take these out. Let's see if this helps out any. Mike, would love it if you could tell me if it is any better in this position. Maybe it just needed to have these things taken out. But we shall see. These are new headphones. All right. Here we go. Is that helping any, sir? Hopefully it is. Nicky Rod in that north-south position on top of Kyle Bame. Kyle looking for just any kind of space here. Terrible space to be. Now, of course, Nicky Rod taking his time, looking for how he wants to go ahead and mercifully kill if he wants to kill. And Kyle's in a world of trouble, and I don't love going to mount on Kyle Bame, but that could be very strong. It says, can't hear nothing, just breaking up, just to let you know. That's so weird. I don't know why it would do that. Huh. That's really annoying. Sorry, brother, but thank you. I'm trying to fix it. Maybe that is why we have had some issues. I think our good friend Raphael was trying to tell us a little bit earlier. But if you're watching on the main broadcast at Grappling Hour on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter, we should have no audio complications there. But I appreciate you guys for being honest and letting me know. Ooh, almost on that. So here's my one thing for Nicky. I want to make sure that if he is going to win, again, he is in such better position if he does get this win in regulation. Excellent regard there by Kyle. Nicky Rod going straight back to passing. I think Master Vic very wisely tells them to go back to center of the mats. That will hopefully keep them a little bit better in their positions from falling off the mat, because that was a huge possibility here. Kyle Bame doing some slight bicycle kicks in this position. Nicky Rod not having too much of it, literally putting his hand like you would in a fan and just saying like, yeah, I'll eat part of this. That's fine. Going back and forth. This is the disruption that Kyle Bame is trying to have. Here's the problem now. Nicky Rod, if he does sit down, Nicky Rod literally saying like, why don't you try to pass at this point? And then clearly showing this is just a bait. And I don't think Kyle wants to take that yet again. The first time he did, he stood there, got frozen for a split second, and Nicky Rod just speared the shit out of him. Only this time, it's a little different when you're already on the ground. And again, literally these bicycle kicks are just enough for Nicky Rod not to get any kind of bite off of it. Now, Nicky Rod thought about showing off like he was going to get a leg lock on Kyle Bame, but instead uses it as an excellent bait for a back take. Now, back over on the side control. Excellent work here by Nicky Rod, who unfortunately has no points in this rule set, which is a huge difference maker for the Nicky Rod, who normally is quite the points guy. That's why ADCC rule set works so nicely for him, that in this particular sense, you kind of get the idea like, how is this going to work? 2:10 left to go. I don't think you want Kyle Bame to be in an overtime rule set. Not to say that Nicky Rod wouldn't be adept in himself. We've seen him escape, but with a dominant performance like this, letting Kyle back in a rule set where he would have a very strong ability to do the overtime well, you really want that finish plus the extra money. So let's be honest, it's a twofold sort of a thing. Nicky Rod might be looking for a Kimura here at some point. Kyle Bame trying to protect himself by keeping all of his arms on the inside as much as possible. Nicky may have a hard time trying to get an arm completely isolated, as you do see Kyle Bame expressing what is affectionately referred to by my teammates as Raf Guard. So there is that. And there's not much here that I've seen in terms of an offense by Kyle. This could be an opportunity to show that he can pass, but I think Kyle is actually pretty content on letting this go to the overtime. So I think he's not going to try and push the action any further than he needs to. Okay, so here we go. Nicky Rod still waiting for the right opportunity to pass by one more time. If he can make it in. Every time, Nicky Rod really baits that super well. He has such excellent timing when it looks like he's sitting to pull guard to immediately using that as an opportunity to sneak past somebody. It's fairly stellar. I think I may have to lift part of that strategy. And you've got a little bit from Nicky Rod in this position battle pretty much everywhere. You got him inside control, in mount, attacking from a cradle pin. Maybe the only thing you really didn't see was the ability to attack on that back, at least not in this match. But 5 seconds left to go. Nicky Rod just trying to see if he can maybe finesse kind of a goofy leg lock from here. Oh, well, that's the logo. And we now go to overtime period number 1. This will probably be the best opportunity for Kyle Bame to win, and you'll already see Nicky Rod doing a few things okay well to start, and he is pretty particular about making sure he has the grips in the right spots. Bame is going to prove very difficult to get out of here. So if Nicky Rod escapes like he did to the other people, it would be a huge statement. Now, Kyle Bame holding on for dear life. Nicky Rod is a little compromised, but he is slowly starting to escape and does make his way into Kyle Bame's guard. That bodes very well for Nicky Rod. And I think Nicky has already opted to take the back. The look on Kyle's face is a little telling in this sense, which is, shit. That's not what I wanted. Now, Nicky Rod, 2 legs are on the inside. Nicky Rod doing his best to try and maintain control on, oh my God, Kyle Bame, that's going to be a tap. Good Lord. That was aggressive, and there you go, everybody. A very aggressive rash guard takeoff. There's never been a competitor who has hated a rash guard more than Nicky Rod. Which is always weird because you see him compete like that and then you just see him wait his minute out. But man, the thing that was really interesting was the wild tap by Kyle Bame there. Like, it does make you feel like, oh shit, did Nicky... How much heat did he put on that? And did Nicky also, like, wait a few seconds not to actually release that hold? So it looks like I'm sure that TJ is going to get his opportunity to interview him after they take a few select photos. I will turn up the volume to hear what Nicky has to say. We'll see what happens here. Well, we'll see if Nicky is up for an interview. You know, he's a busy guy. He's definitely grounded us. Oh, no, the belt fell off. Oh, he's just going to wear it. Wear over the shoulder. What is up, Vlade Benito BJJ? Good to see you. Hope you're having a great evening. The favorite... Excuse me. The favorite Nicky Rod did get the victory here. That was impressive by Nicky Rod. And you know what's great is EBI in the past has been used as a vehicle to launch people's careers, but with this, we already know who Nicky Rod is. If anything, this is just perhaps one of the biggest achievements we've seen from this young man and an already impressive career. All right, TJ's mincing words. So Nikki just said, I had a great time. Thank you for hosting it. It's hard to hear, so my apologies. Nikki's saying he wanted to show that he's got more versatility to his game. So now TJ is asking him, what does it mean to you to actually win this belt for EBI? All right. I think we're good on that. Thank you. All right. That was very interesting to see. So let's say a few things. Number one, very happy for Nicky Rod. Good kid, putting in the work. Obviously has accomplished things at ADCC, but this is perhaps one of his biggest solo wins, just in terms of an accomplishment that is a championship. I don't think any other jump to my mind, but it's kind of cool. We've seen him silver medal, we've seen him bronze medal to actually become the EBI champion, puts him in the good company of people who have done excellent work in jiu-jitsu that we have seen in the past. So congrats to him. Also, congrats to the competitors. Congrats to Mercedes. Super happy for her. It was really dope to see. Definitely a highlight of my day. Pat Shagholi, an excellent competitor. The kid's only 16. He was a beast throughout the trials, and it only bodes for more incredible things in his near future. And I just want to remind you guys, interviews are coming up very soon with Joseph Chen, the Rotolo brothers, Andrew Tackett, and of course, one Amy Campo, two ADCC champions, and hopefully more to come. We will give Giancarlo Bodoni, my apologies, an ability to catch up with us very soon. We'll give him some time, hopefully, to recover, but we definitely have scheduled time to talk with him, Dio Hees, and of course, one Fiona Davies. We're supposed to try and find a time with her, so that'll be in the near future. My name is Rafa Sparza. I appreciate you guys for sticking around as long as you did. You guys are always our favorite people to talk to. It has been a great day for grappling. We'll see you back on the mats.
Perfect.